watching Power 4 with my uncle and my daddy.
Hey, yo, what it do? It's Big Dirty. I'm rocking with Power 4, Real and Wood.
What's up? My name is Justin Austin. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Make sure y'all check out the new podcast called Power 4 with Real and Wood, man. They talking about everything basketball, man. Make sure y'all check that out as soon as possible. You ain't got nothing else better to do but sit at home, work, listen to music, and listen to podcasts. So might as well add this one to the list. Make sure y'all check it out, man. These dudes some cool cats, and they know what they're talking about. Peace.
It's your girl Jazz Lewis over here at We Working, and I am definitely rocking with the squad, Real and Wood. Make sure y'all go check them out.
Yo, this is DeMonte Simpson, and I'm Power 4 with Real and Wood.
Hello, this is Mr. C, a.k.a. Clarence Swearingen, Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm rocking with Real and Wood on Power 4.
My name is Coach Nick Marshall, boys coach at Vine Middle School and head coach with TPE, Team Passion Elite, and I'm rocking with Real and Wood on Power 4.
Welcome back to another fire episode of Power 4 with your boy Real and Wood.
Flame emoji. Today, man, we got our brother in the building, man. It's going to be another good one. Sean Green, Mr. Priority 1.
What's going on, fellas? Appreciate you for having me.
Of course.
Sir.
And before we get started, you know what I got to ask you, bro.
Oh, what's up?
What was your most embarrassing moment on the court?
Oh, man. Oh, man, you gotta do me like that. I've seen everybody else had to. I thought I was going to be able to avoid that. I would say, I would say it was at Mars Hill College where I went my freshman year. It was a guy on our team named Dominic Williams, but they nicknamed him Freak. And like all the freshmen, we got there first.
Yeah.
I was like, why they call him Freak? And they was like, you'll see. I was bouncy in high school. I could dunk, I could windmill, 360. So, I'm feeling myself on campus thinking, I'm good. So we're going as like the volleyball team, the football team, people hanging out in the gym because there was really nothing to do on campus because it's a small school. Division school. So we're going fast break. And my guy, is going by himself. So I'm running him down. I'm about to beat this. And I mean, he took off, I took off. We made it the basket, belly to belly. We hit. He stopped here. His kept going up. And when I say he punched that on me, everybody was in there. So I was known as a freshman for 2 weeks. He got dunked on. So
Oh, man.
that's my most embarrassing hooping moment.
Was one hand he put you on the poster?
One hand. And I think he hugged me on the way up, too. Possibly pat me on the back and let me know it's going to be okay.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness.
So it's brutal. It was brutal. I got paid back, though.
This is why they call me Freak right here.
Exactly.
Oh
I found out. And I started calling him Freak after that. He was no longer Dominic. He was Freak after that.
That's funny, man. So Sean, man, tell everybody who don't know you where you from, man.
Of course, I'm Sean Green. Originally from Alcoa, moved out to Knoxville when I was in 7th grade. I was a Jody Wright kid at Fulton High School. And of course, now I'm the owner and head trainer of Priority 1 Athletics, where we train from NBA all the way down. So that's kind of a brief thing about me.
Right.
Yeah,
So man, the game been good to you. I look at you, you just growing with the game. You taking it, from playing to now training. But what I wanted to know was what got you started? Like, where did it all start? Where did the love come from?
So back in the days, my uncle played. He's like an Alcoa legend. His name is Kelvin Richardson. They call him K Rich. It was like one of those things where he was a young uncle, so we got to watch him play in high school. He went to college in Memphis and played. Came home, my grandfather died, and then he was like an All-American at Melville College. Played overseas professionally, so we used to just tag along with him, and literally, if he was at the court playing basketball in Alcoa, we were there with him on the other side playing with the younger kids. But then, got a little bit older, and he would force us to come play with the older people to get us better. So he kind of instilled that in us from the beginning. Kind of fell in love with that. And pretty much the rest was history. Anytime I could hoop, I wanted to. And I wish I had training like there is around now, but like you can get training anywhere now. You know what I mean? But like anything that was involved with ball when I was younger, like I was there. So I mean, my love came from my uncle pretty much.
For sure. So man, who did you grow up like idolizing as far as the game? Did you try to mimic your game after anybody or pattern your game after anybody?
To be real, man, I was a huge Jason Kidd fan.
Oh yeah.
Jason Kidd. I love Allen Iverson's crossover. Everybody loved Jordan. Everybody wanted to be like Mike at some point, but I was a huge Jason Kidd fan. So that was the guy who I really wanted to be like when I was growing up.
J Kidd, that guy.
Man, J Kidd was nice, especially when he first came. When he showed up at California.
That nasty.
What?
Nasty.
What?
Used to have a little bounce on him. Would take one.
Yeah.
But later on, it just went away.
Hey, you remember? Y'all remember the cutoff sleeves? Remember when everybody used to cut?
Hey, if you didn't have that on at some point, you wasn't a hooper, man.
You're right.
At the point where the cutoffs were like really slim and you like had everything. Yeah. Man. If you didn't have that on, you was a hooper. But if you was a dude that was wearing the full jersey suit, you wasn't getting picked up.
Definitely wasn't getting picked. Ain't no way.
Got the whole bull jersey on. Let me put my man's up right here. So yeah, for sure.
Hey, so tell us about Jody Wright, man. How was that?
I would say this, and I don't care. I'll say it to his face. I think Jody's gotten a little bit easier on these kids, man.
Yeah.
Bro, he used to tear us apart, man. It was, to be real with you, people used to say they couldn't wait for a timeout to hear what he was going to say. Like, I remember he told one kid if he doesn't get his act together, he's going to cut his gonads off and hang them in the Raptors. He just say stuff like that all the time. Are you playing with girls because you got on panties? Like, it would be the most craziest stuff that he would say. But what I would say for sure is he wouldn't accept you not giving your all, especially on the defensive side. Like, if you didn't play defense, you weren't on the floor. Like, so I know for me in those times, like I remember myself having a bad game and not playing defense. He didn't start me. And I'm like, I'm one of your top players. What are you doing? We was playing against Gibbs, and I remember he sat me. And I remember how embarrassed I was watching everybody run out and people looking at me like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, it was horrible. Like, I remember actually one time he tried to send me home from practice. Wasn't practicing well, had a bad day at school, and I was just kind of loafing. And I remember he's like, get your stuff and just go home and don't come back. And I never had like a bad attitude, like talk back, because my mom wasn't no joke. So I respected Jody, but I feared my mom, so I would never do anything out there. But I was just to the point where I wasn't there. But I remember, like, I got to the locker room and I was like, nah. I went back upstairs and I busted it and he let me get in, but he made me work after practice. So, like, the Jody now is a lot easier than the Jody back then. Like, I remember you couldn't have hair, you had to cut it. Stuff, man. Like, I remember a dude with braids forever and he was just like gone. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a different thing. And I guess times change, the game changes. And, you know, the older you get, sometimes you got battles you feel like you don't want to fight anymore. It's just all about the game. So, but definitely I was college ready to play defense when I left it. When I got to college, they didn't have to teach me rotation. They didn't have to teach me how to be aggressive. Like, it was already there. So, but yeah, Jody definitely was a beast back in the day.
Hey, he you know, Coach, man, being able to be around him, I guess, you know, later on in his career, you know, I only been over there like 2 years. You know, he kind of told me about, you know, when he was younger, you know, he was much more fiery and all that kind of stuff. But one thing that he told me, man, that I'm starting to recognize and just really peep is it's more than one way to skin that cat, right?
Yeah.
So you know, now he the older coach that's done kind of learned, like, instead of extending all that energy doing this, and this, I can do it like this and get the same results. So I think it's some of that too. You know what I mean? Like him getting a little bit older and wiser and not what. Yeah, he told me he used to sweat through them suits.
He used to be super, bro. I've seen him slap chairs. I've seen him break like the coaches' doors. Like I've never heard a man say "Dad Jim" it so much. Does he still say that?
Jimmy.
Get on the Dad Jim board.
Oh, gotta get a new board, Jody.
Jody wasn't no joke, bro. But I tell you this about him though, and I don't know how it is now, but that man used to have a jumper. Like
you got it.
And he would be like, "What you want? All net? What you want me to hit? One side of the rim? Bang right in, like literally just like that. No joke. I lie to you not. Like he had knocked down like 30 in a row from the 3-point line, and I've seen him do it.
Yeah,
like, it was pretty. He probably got an old man J now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You need to see how he shoot it, man. But it's very skilled. Hey, from 15, it's very skilled the way he shoot it, man. It's very particular, man. You gotta check it out.
Oh yeah,
like for sure.
I gotta check it,
man. So Sean, man, thinking about high school though, while you were there, man, who was some of your teammates, man? Tell me about your squad.
So when I was there, I had, especially like, I was pretty much the only freshman that made it, like from like the beginning. We ended up pulling another freshman up in the middle of the season because somebody got put off a team and he just wanted to bring somebody up anyways. My freshman year, I had like a 6'6" dude, Alec Dave.
Yeah.
My older brother was on varsity. His name was Chris Green. We had Fred Smith, which was a big football player. You remember Fred? We had Carlos Dobson, Ricky Wood, Jason Long. We had a squad. We were state runner-ups that year.
Yeah,
so
right.
we lost to Memphis Kingsbury in the state championship game. My sophomore year, we lost a lot of people. It really was like me, Fred Smith, Joel Zimmerman. Of course, we got beaten in sectionals by AE because they went to sectional tournaments instead of sub-state.
Yeah.
Right.
And then around my junior, senior, we didn't really have like a really tough squad. It was like me. I don't know if y'all remember Norman Queener. They call him Monte.
Yeah.
Queener, dude, Jason Powell, Stephen Newberry, Victor Horace.
Yeah.
So we had a team of people who played their roles well because, like, I mean, that's why I say Jody was a beast because he got the best out of all of us, and he wouldn't accept that. So we would go further than people would think we would go and have the season people wouldn't think we have because we had no real size. I probably was like the second or third tallest person on the team.
Right.
So like so it was just, man, it was kind of like teams that I played on, but we always end up having a winning season.
So who
man,
your rival?
You said what?
Who is your rival?
Talking about a person, or you mean like a team?
A person.
Personal.
Oh man.
Who did Sean Green have to get up for every time they played?
Man, I just kind of hated teams. I didn't really have anybody who was their top player. I just had an ego like, I'm about to kill you. Even if I didn't that game. I had some games where I'm about to murder you. And at the end of the game, I was like, I did.
Right.
But like, I just really, Austin East, I got to play against them all the time because, they're going to talk and I was fine. Let's rock with it. You know what I mean? When we would play Lenore City back in the days was one. And there was a dude named Jesse Snyder. Like, we literally would almost be to the point where we were going to fight how we were talking. This white dude who cared about nothing. Like, man, he was one of the ones. But everybody from Austin East, it was somebody. But I was cool with a lot of the guys too. So, but everybody, when we played them, I ain't like nobody. Like, even I didn't like you until we finished playing. So
Until we
I
done.
didn't have a particular person. It was just teams like West High School. I don't know if y'all remember, what's his name? From Lonsdale. Because I was from the Ville, and it was, I'll remember his name in a little bit, but Spencer,
yeah.
Yeah, me and
God.
Because every time we was gonna play, they were like, Ville versus Lonsdale.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we played, he went off, and I didn't get to guard him. Somebody else was mainly guarding the whole time, but I would catch him here and there. I remember it was one time we played at West. It was like, oh, Spencer, they hyped it up, man. I dropped 20 of them. Like, let's get it, man. Like, I don't care today. Let's go. But, I mean, I had to work for everything. I think there's a lot of talent now, but I think back then everybody was tougher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people cared. Like, people had pride. Like real pride. Like, you ain't gonna work. Like, kids now, they friends with each other, and you don't really have any true rivals on the court anymore.
I got my own theory about that, Sean. Kids don't play outside no more.
I was just gonna say that.
I beat you to it. Kids don't play outside no more. Ain't no more pickup games outside.
I can remember.
They ain't doing it.
Bro, I can remember coming to Knoxville. I used to come to Knoxville every summer, right? And we would stay outside hooping all day, and you would play against different people. We'll go different places. Like, and you know, just that alone brings a different, when you bring all them different elements to the game, it make you a little bit tougher. You get what I'm saying? Because you getting put in different situations, man.
But you would have, like, you got to think about it. We had people who couldn't really hoop that would be out there that would be hooping because they just cared. Like, they just gritty like that. It'd be a dude you know ain't got no jumper, but still be out there talking trash the whole time and playing deal. It ain't like that anymore.
Yeah, and you getting to play against, man, you'll be playing against grown men.
Yeah.
You'll be playing against kids older than you. You know, you remember in the summer, man, when you just figure out how to do a little move or something. I remember a long time ago when I first realized I could double pump in the air. Oh, it was on. Every time I went up, hey, I'm moving the ball up. Oh, okay.
For no reason, too.
Yeah.
Wide open, like, come here.
Gotcha.
But the thing about it is, though, like, when everybody hooped, especially when we hooped with the grown folks, I think we were tougher, not because we just played with older dudes, because the older dudes would check us, though. Like, if you got on the court and you was doing some bull, like, they would tell you, like, hey, little man, like, you can't play with me. You know what I mean? Like, you going to play or you going to get over there with them. You know what I mean? And, like, I was talking to somebody else about that, and my wife. Like back in the days, it's different because when we were younger, we couldn't wait to be a grown-up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was cool to be a grown-up, to be able to do the grown-up stuff, to play ball with the big people, whatever. But now kids is different. They have so many things that is cool about being a kid. They have everything surrounding them that they want. So now they don't think about, like, I want to hoop, but I want to go be able to hoop with the older dudes. Like, that stuff doesn't matter anymore because they have everything they want now.
Yeah.
Like, that was our training. We didn't have people that had gyms and facilities and priority ones and Lester's and whoever else is doing. We didn't have all that, man. We just had a highlight on ESPN, and then our driveway, we was trying to do it. That was our training. And like, now I just think since it's so much access to these kids, they have so much access to everything that they take it for granted.
Yeah.
Like, YouTube back then, I'd be Googling and YouTubing every workout. But kids, because they have it and it's just there, they're just like, nah. You know what I'm saying?
I can get it at any time.
Yeah.
Facts. Big facts. So,
I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, man. So one thing, man, that me and Wood talked about, man, you know, you was a coach for a little stint, man, and boy, you had some young men with you, man, who I love, man, and y'all boys did y'all thing, coach. I think you made Linwood jealous because y'all ran the table and y'all looked a little bit better than the Northwest team that he was a part of.
Y'all had a squad too back in the days too, though, man.
We was loaded.
Yeah, y'all had a squad back. It was just one of those things where, you know, in middle school ball, like, you're going to end up having 1 to 2, maybe 3 good guys, but it's very rare for you to have, like, everybody on the squad. Man. So the task was no longer how am I going to win this game. The task was how am I going to get them better for high school, and then on top of that, like, how am I going to ration out this playing time?
Exactly. Yeah, how you going to keep everybody happy?
Yeah, in 6 minutes? Like, they need to up the middle. 6 minutes? that's a hungry man meal in a microwave. You know?
Right, right. Hey, coach, and y'all blowing people out early, so that clock running early.
Facts. And then you got to think about when you blowing folks out, everybody think, all right, the young folks supposed to play, but you got the older kids like, man, we want to play too.
We
So
still play,
it
yeah.
was. I think everything was cool how it worked out. They played their butts off, and you know what I mean. I think anybody who would have coached them would have won. Just the biggest task was what could we do for next year? Like that was always my goal. So like literally when we had practices, I ran them like my training sessions. So I always had like a formula. Like at the beginning of the season, it was all about the system, development, what we were going to do, what were our principles, how we were going to run things, inbound plays, blah, blah, blah. We kept drilling that till we got it. Once they had it, I trickled away from that and added that stuff when we would do like pickup, when we would run scrimmage in practice. That was more in that time. But I flipped it and went from 60% of system and 40% of development. I flipped it to 60% development in our time there and 40% doing the system. I mean, because really, I mean, half the time we didn't get into anything because our press. Like, we was up like 20-0 in like 3 minutes. So
It get ugly.
It was bad.
Man, I remember I went to a game, man. Wood. The other team, man. You know how you just feel bad for a group of kids, man. They look like some of them guards was like, man, just take me out.
Just take
me out.
I'm hurt.
Ain't nowhere to go. And you know how some of them courts be kind of small? I think y'all was at hosting.
And that was now hosting came to us.
Yeah.
But that court was small too. Our court wasn't huge. So
God, man.
It was just bad all over. I remember my wife kept the books at every game. And she knows, and of course she knows me and knows my attitude and knows when something bothers me. And like we were playing against Halls, and the coach at Halls, you remember that? Yeah. The coach at Halls, like we was trapping him, and we was killing him, and I think it was like 23-2 or something like that. And for me, like I'm one of them dudes where like I will put the pause on you. I'm not one of those guys who's like, all right, let's back it off. I don't believe in that because if you can smoke me like that.
You gonna do it
because we gotta learn how to get better from that. It's none of this sharing is caring stuff. I don't do all that. But I was about to pull the press because I was like thinking like we can still work in our half court stuff because that's some stuff they gotta learn moving to the next level. Anyway, it's not gonna be like this for all time. So I'm getting ready to pull it out. The calls coach goes to timeout, and at the timeout I was gonna say, all right guys, we're gonna back off, play some half court defense, work on that. You know, man to man, working on our move and rotation. I was going to say to him, but the Halls coaches looked at me and was like, you going to take the press off? You're already up. That makes no sense. Like, he was going off on me. And, like, at that moment, I got touched a little bit. You know what I mean? So at that moment, like, from, like, teacher, coach, subordinate dad, which I was, and I still am, like, all that was like here, and then the Ville was like Mechanicsville. So I turned around, I looked at my boys, I was like, is he talking to me? They was like, yeah. And they was some instigating. Yeah, coach. I was like, whatever, give them nothing. And I said, just like that, go get them. And I turned around, it was a wrap. They was like, yes, got him, bucket, got him, bucket, got him, bucket. And I was just looking at the coach like this.
Next time you keep your mouth shut.
That was, but it was, like I said, it was a good group of boys, man.
I love it, man.
And they were awesome. And, you know, I give a lot of credit to them and very little to myself.
For sure.
I mean, this is what it was.
Man, I think all three of us got a little chance to have a little bit of success, man. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Oh,
kind of cool out there. We may have been the last three as far as black coaches or whatnot for the boys side.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Y'all ran the tables. Both of y'all did. All right.
Man, coach. So, coach, I got something else though, coach.
What up, though?
Because you know you're a player, you're a trainer, but man, something I'm excited about, brother. I gotta talk to you about it, and it touches me every time I think about it. I'm like, damn, man, I had a chance. I think I had a chance. I had a chance, coach. You know I love hoopers, right?
Right.
And Wood, I don't know if you know this, but at one time, man, I was thinking about had an opportunity maybe to be over at Webb at the middle school with the girls.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
And
I
bro,
remember that, yeah.
Man, let me tell you something, man. Like, no disrespect to anybody else or anything like that, but that's what just to be around certain kids. I love to work with the kids, and I see she got a passion for it, man, and I like the way she go about it. I like the way she plays. So I always think about that, like, I
was trying to
Wood,
get
could you imagine that, Wood?
Hey,
that would have been
crazy.
Wood, I probably would have got so many texts for talking trash, y'all.
Yeah.
Facts. And the thing about it is, those girls needed what we as black men can bring to the table. Like Mia has played for other coaches, but now she plays for Damon Johnson with Tennessee Chesterfield. But now they're going with Bobby. They're going under Bobby now.
Right.
But Mia was good. I'm a trainer, I'm her dad. But when she got with Damon, and Damon kind of has that mentality, like I remember, because like my kids are like, when I say my kids, of course they are mixed children. They have a black father at home and a white mother. But my kids are very suburban. Like when I say suburban, I mean very. So anything hood is not really comfortable for them. That's what I'm saying. So Damon kind of still has that. He's a man of God, but he really still has that kind of swag from just kind of being out and about back in the days.
Right.
The first day my daughter met him and kind of played with him, she was like, he scares me. Just different from the little country twang, like, man, get out there and play.
Yeah.
It was just different. Like, he would say things differently, but after a while, it just brought something out of her. Like, I would tell her, like, me, I need you to go eat. You know what I mean? You ain't eating.
Yeah.
And before it was like, what am I supposed to eat? What is this eating stuff you're talking about?
Right.
Then it turned to like now, clapping her hands, let's eat. You know what I mean? And I think that would have been good for her, especially if you've been there. And I don't want to take anything from the coaches there now, but it's just different. We bring something different, and I think that she would really be eating there if you were still there. Like you would be like, hey, what is this?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, so
we missed that. Yeah, and Freeman too was there. Freeman is at FBA.
Yeah.
Freeman was somebody that brought that out of her too. Like, cause Freeman's played with her high school with her. Freeman has been so good for my kids, period. Like,
so I was about to.
My son played with him. He brought a lot out of my son because my son is a very quiet, laid back, very skillful, can hoop. Yeah. But you gotta like poke the bear so many times for him. Like, you gotta poke him like 9 million times before he goes Super Saiyan. Like, he's just that laid back and really a good, nice kid. But when he does, like, it's like this same kid. Like, it's sometimes I'm like, okay, I see you, but then sometimes I'm like, where is it at? Yeah. And that's what I think us as black men, as coaches, do for our own, but also can do for other kids if they don't really, or they're not used to that culture or that way that we talk or the way that we motivate. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, man, another thing, man, I've been watching your son here for a while, kind of since I met you and realized you had kids and a family and stuff like that. And man, I like to say, just from the outside looking in, my dude is taking a jump. My dude is taking a jump, man. I can definitely see the improvement, from about 2 years ago to right now, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
I know you see it. I know you see it.
Definitely.
I'm seeing him do different things on the court that I didn't see him doing, man. So I love the game and people that work on that game. So
and I would say this, and my wife would tell you, I'm not one of those biased dads. Like, I'm one of the ones to tell you, like, hey, you were trash today and you got ate up by homie. And you took it. Like, but I will give my son credit because a lot of times I don't think he gets a lot because sometimes, my daughter's such a unicorn. Everybody talks about her a lot. Because, she's a big girl. She's a tall girl.
Right.
Rock that junk. Got some handles. Can shoot outside. Can body inside. So she gets a lot of attention. But, like, Jalen is And I will say this to anybody, not just because my son. I feel like he's probably one of the top, like the best IQ point guard in the county, like and portion of the states too. Like if you just watch how he thinks and how he plays, very unselfish, but he's just so controlling. When he's not on the floor, it's so different. Like he's almost like a silent coach. Like he'll speak when he needs to, but everything runs well when he's there. So and there's a spot, every player has a spot in the next level like that. So somebody's gonna get a good point guard at the next level.
That's I enjoy about watching him play, man. You can never speed him up. He's gonna play his game no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing, he's real good, Coach. I'm talking about, man, he got it down pat, man. You know what he got down pat, Coach?
What's that?
If he get you on the hip, you
It's
are
over.
done. Man, you ain't getting Linwood, he know how to fend off so good, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
And he fast too. Like when he turns the corner, it's just you gotta tell him, Jay, go do it. In some moments he'll make it look effortless, and I'll be like, what are you waiting on? And it's just some moments where it's just not. But I'm telling you, if you poke him enough, like little Micah kid that plays for Morristown East,
right,
was running his mouth, and all of a sudden, Jalen went to Goku, blonde hair, raging around him, Dragon Ball Z, and he dropped 30. I was like, who is this kid? He's talking trash. And I mean, like, you ask my wife, he's not really a big talker.
Yeah,
he's talking trash, like he clapping in Buddy's face. He was telling him, like, you ain't ready. Like, I was like, whose kid is this? Who the hell's kid is this? It's not mine. So he has it in him. I just want to see him do it often.
For sure. Yeah. For sure, man. I think, man, both of your kids too are in a real good position when you look at having the opportunity to go to Webb, but also, man, the coaches that they have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man, I really admire Ricky, man. I've been watching him for a long time because, I coach Chase and just kind of been watching Ricky from afar, man. I just want to say he do it the right way.
Tough. He's a tough coach. I love how he coaches.
Yeah.
I love the system. I love how he like really instills a lot in the boys outside of ball. And I love the way he believes in the kids. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to think since Jalen's freshman year, like he gave Jalen a lot of burn his freshman year. And I honestly told Jalen, I was like, you may be sitting your little front tail at the end for a while. I don't know if you're going to get in. Like, that's just the reality of it.
Right.
And I remember watching some game, like first couple games, he was just throwing them out there. And I was like, summer league games. I was like, Lindsay, dude, he's on the floor already. And it just transitioned that way. And it was some games where he played not as much, but he still would play. But I would say as a freshman, he got more burn than I did at Fulton.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure he did.
After playing. But you know where that come from, man, working in practice.
You said what now?
Said you know where that come from, working in practice.
Facts, man. Like kids don't realize you gotta put in work. You have to put in work. You can't have a Mercedes-Benz taste with, a McDonald's work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. So like kids that want to go to the league, you can't be working like you trying to try out for a middle school team.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta put it in. And all these kids and all these guys who are in the league now did a whole lot more than everybody else. Yeah. And I think it's cliche when kids hear it, so they're like, nah, but it's real. It's real, and especially seeing me and being able to work with guys on a different level like that. Like it's real. Like, you see when they come in the gym how business oriented they are and how they are with their time and how they get their schedules going. Like to this day, I still do Zoom ball handle workouts with Admiral online.
Yeah.
We still do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I flew up there like 2-3 months ago, baby? Was it in November or October? Flew up there in October in DC. We worked out. So it's just like when kids can see that, and really the thing about it is like they could see that because sometimes the kids get to be around my high level players in my gym sometimes. They'll see it and just be like, okay. But I'm like, man, you see a model right here and see that this person is where you're trying to go. Why are you not trying to be a sponge and take this?
You got
So
to
it baffles me sometimes, man. So
definitely need them notes.
you know what I mean? Especially kids don't get to see that around here much. We don't have any NBA teams or NBA players anywhere.
Right.
This is an area that has that. So when you got people who have the advantage or have people that's being there, or you get to talk to people who's been there, or is going there, then like you better soak it all up and imitate that model that you see.
For
Kids
sure.
are lazy enough, they don't want to do that. You already have the plan and showing them how to, but they still don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So Green, man, you know, it's funny how the game just take us different places. You know, take you places you didn't think you could go, I would imagine, or you know, especially when you first started.
Mhm.
So, you know, I'm not sure how many years you've been doing it now, but walk us through how you started this whole priority one thing, man, and kind of how, you know, what your vision was.
So when I first started, I was just training people under the table. I had, you know, some people who knew me that I played ball, people I went to church with, and I was just kind of training on the table. Then I started like watching other trainers and doing it as a business, and I was like, yo, I could totally do this.
Mhm.
So my wife's a CPA, and she, you know, deals with taxes and can get entities started. So she came home one day and was like, papers, bang, bang, bang. And I'm like, what is this? She was like, your logo trademarked, that's your business license, that's your tax ID number. And I was like, she's like, you're a legit business now. I'm like, oh. So at that time for me teaching, I had gym availability, but then of course that was gone. And I'd end up like diving in like full time and training. So I stopped teaching and was like training full time. So at the beginning, man, like I almost was like, yo, may not be a good idea because I didn't have a facility at all. So my whole entire vision, like, of course, you know, when you start off, you have these big, huge, like goals. Like I want a facility, I want 2 or 3 courts, I want this court for development, this court where kids can play pickup, I can run tournaments, I can run leagues, I can do anything I want to, and I can have other sports in there. Like I was just so everywhere with it, man. So I was doing trainings on outdoor courts, like literally, like I had a car, and I remember I told my wife, like, I can't keep putting everything in this car, like all my basketballs and cones. I need something bigger. So we went out and found like an SUV, like it was a 2002 Tahoe, and that was like around 2015. Or a 2002 Tahoe, just so I could put equipment in. So I was bouncing from court to court, gym to gym, people's houses that had goals. And it was a lot of running around, but it was like all worth it to me. And, you know, it's like, it's crazy because like my church is doing a fast and doing something on God's favor. And which I truly believe in God's favor because like things just fell in a row. Like I started full time August of 2015. By March of 2016, I was inside a facility. Like my spot that I was paying rent for. And you know, like from guys y'all being around ball, it's like a lot of people who like, I'm a train. And they fall off because they don't have the resources they need to maintain. So it's already a blessing that I had my wife who was an accountant who kind of teach me some stuff I needed to know and just not just a whole about taxes and everything, but just, you know, run a business period because that's what she's been doing forever. I had people to invest. Like I have a family that I tell the story, but I won't tell the name, so they want me to keep it silent. Like, so when they found out I was trying to do more with this, it was like, I want to invest in you. How can we? And me and my wife sat down and ate lunch with them, and she's like, we just want to help you anyway. Let's just say they got bread. All right. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, cause I don't want to owe anybody anything. I'm like, I'm doing something on my own. I don't want to owe anybody. And I was training her kids at the time. And they were like, look, I just love the way my kids are always, they work hard and I believe in what you're doing, I want to help. So when I moved in my facility, I had to like finance some things. And, you know, I had some money up front. I maxed out a credit card to get a basketball goal, a good one. And the floor was a $6,000 job. And like that family just wrote me a check for 6 G's. Like, go take it. And their kids don't even hoop anymore. And if they saw me right now, they'd be like, "Hey, Sean," and hug me and "What's up? How you doing?" Don't want a thing back from me. So that helped out. Getting in, my family was always a big, my kids were like guinea pigs. I trained them to death. My wife was they get like booking together. So it was really like a family affair at first. I remember I would throw clinics, man, and I'd be like, all right, if I can just be like 15 kids, it'll be a good day, good profit. Man, I have 3 kids show up, and 2 of them were my kids. It was like that. I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is not going to work. But once I got in the facility, everything grew. And things just kept growing and growing, getting more people, and me understanding how to run it better. And I got certified through a company called Impossible. Like Michael Lancaster and I do training. They got all the rip cone stuff, cone sitting down. So I was really big into that. I got with them and I learned a lot. Now, a lot of times people see their stuff and say it's very gimmicky. But if you understand exactly the science behind everything, you see like, okay, that makes sense. So I learned a lot from them. Of course, I'm on my own now. I don't rock with them anymore just because I was like, I might as well just invest in me instead of continue to pay a certification every month when I know stuff already.
Right.
But as far as me being able to train people on higher levels, like, man, people don't understand, like, for Mr. Rand, like, I did so much free stuff. Like, before I had a facility, I would show up to people's games and be like, hey, like, I'll train y'all team for free. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that, Coach. That's what I was going to ask, not to cut you off, man, but one thing I was thinking about was when I look at you as a trainer, right? Of course you do, you it's a business.
Right.
But you come across to me like you value some relationships, right?
Oh, for sure.
And I'm just talking about the relationship of just watching the improvement of the players and stuff like that, and you excited about that growth. And how ironic is it that I was thinking that, and you telling me when you first got started, something that really helped you out was it just a genuine relationship that you had, with that family and working with them kids and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like with me being a businessman in the sports world, like I would go speak to college classes at Pellissippi. They would have me come to speak. It's like a sports whatever class. People who want to be trainers, people who want to be coaches. I spoke to every year, every semester. I speak to classes, come in and do a presentation, and I always would tell them. I'd ask them a question: what is the biggest? When you think of currency, what do you think of? Money, whatever. They answer that. Like, what do you think the biggest currency is in the world? And they would never answer. Some were smart enough and answered, but the biggest currency in the world to me, well, there's 2. Number 1 is time, because you can never get that back, so it's very valuable. But relationships, like, how many people get jobs that are not qualified, but they get them because somebody knows?
Yeah.
People go on special vacations because of somebody they know got a hookup and can get you for like $30 a night, and the room is really like $150 a night. Like, so relationships is like the biggest currency around. So like, you got to make sure that you are treating people the way they need to be treated, and investing in people. And that's what it's all about, really. At the end of the day, if I tell them, if all I taught you is a crossover, when you come to my gym, I failed you. So that's why I say it's kind of different in my gym. I don't know how everybody else's training facilities are and what they do, but that's one thing that's big. I got kids that talk to me about piano recitals or stuff that have nothing to do with basketball. But that's what I want, though, because that lets me know the kid trusted me. If they trusted me, then think about how much harder they'll work for me in the gym.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely relationships are major.
It definitely make it easier when you're so genuine, man.
Oh yeah.
When you're a genuine person, man, you get genuine responses.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, and it's almost like the kids will now, when they believe in you and trust in you, they'll do something without a question because they already know it's nothing gimmicky and it's for their best interest.
Yeah.
And that's what I value. Like for me, like I get some kids that come in there like won't speak, quiet, shy. But then now they walk in and be like, "What's up, Sean?" Like to me, I feel like I won something there. Like,
yeah,
that jumper is still trash, but I'm happy. I opened up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you're talking to other kids, and so basketball, that little round thing that we throw inside of a basket does a whole lot more than just, you know what I mean, like than be a game. You know what I mean? So that's what I respect and love about this game itself.
For sure, man. You know, I had one of my buddies over last night, man. He was talking real highly of you, man. I had Coach Haskell by, man.
Oh,
You know,
Big Dave.
Yeah,
That's
Big Dave, baby.
That's
I had
fun.
big I had Big Dave over, man. You know, he came over and kicked it big time with me, man. But one thing, man, he said, man, Sean is a good dude. And one thing that he pointed out, man, he said you was real good to Connor, man. You was real good to Connor. And coach, I gotta put it on. I gotta say it, man. I gotta say it on camera, man. Look, to show this, look. He said, man, I tried to pay, I tried to pay him, pay him for his time. He said he would not take it, man. He would not take it. He said he never would take it, man, because that was family, and you saw, you wanted to put in that with him, man. So I appreciate that, brother.
They always say what you put out to the atmosphere comes back. And
yes, sir.
Haskell paid his bill a long time ago. You gotta think,
right.
Coaches do so much for players, but then still you have some coaches who just like, I'm your coach. We got practice. We got games. After that, I'll see y'all when we get back in the gym. Don't call me. Like Haskell, I remember my freshman year, like when my mom and dad both worked jobs, so they couldn't get me back and forth to summer practices. Man, Haskell would go past Fulton, come to the Ville, pick me up, take me to practice, bring me back home, take me to summer league games, bring me back home. He had an auntie that had a house on the lake. He would take us over there. They would grill burgers and stuff. We eat there, play on the lake, bring us back. So he did so much for me. And even after the fact of me being out of school, he still kept up with me. So I was just like, there's no way I'm going to take your money, man. I can't, because I value what he did for me. And that alone was worth more than the transaction that he could make in my gym for me giving his son training. So that was major. So I always and will forever respect that man. For
sure, Coach. That was just last night. That was just last night, man. That's real.
I'll tell you this much: if I ever got to the dark alley, I'm gonna take him with me.
What?
Which y'all don't know about. Haskell will fight. Like Haskell will knuckle out for you if he had to. You know how many stories he told me about him almost knocking somebody out? Like,
oh yes.
That man ain't no joke.
But man, he is a loving guy, and he's one of those guys, man. If he tell you he got your back, he got your back.
He got it all the way.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's a good man.
So, Coach, one of the things that I liked, man, once you started training, I remember when it first started. One of my pet peeves was I felt like a lot of people didn't know how to boogie. And what I mean by that is, Coach, they thought they had moves, but they didn't know how to use their footwork with the dribbling moves and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I saw you really taking note to that and really teaching guys. So what I saw, Coach, was I saw people who didn't have athleticism, because every kid wasn't like an all-star, some kid that, that's been in the gym. Coach, he was taking people who didn't even have athleticism and had them boogieing a little bit, man. Yeah. You can see them starting to get some real footwork in their game, man. Like, I like that, Coach.
I appreciate it. And I would say I give a lot of credit to the company. That was with Impossible. They do a great job of turning the basketball into a science. Right. And like understanding within all these moves that you may see on the top 10. And that was a good blessing that I ran into this and kind of got into it, because it really molded me to understanding how to teach better. Like, they understand that in every top 10 move, that like maybe a 4-second clip of somebody rocking somebody, getting to a sidestep and shot. Some kids will look at, and that's what I do in my gym. Like, they'll look at that clip and be like, oh, I just saw 3 moves. But they don't realize in those 3 moves they just saw, like 11 skills that you can break down to actually make that whole thing they did like super dope. So like there's moments in my gym where you can either go like on my phone, because I don't like Apple phones, I hate them. So I have a Droid, I have a Galaxy. But on that, I can rip videos from YouTube and it saves it as a file. on my phone. So I could chop them up and make files. I could send it to you if I wanted to. So I'll take those highlight footage and chop it down in like 4 or 5 seconds footage, put it in slow motion, in regular motion, and I'll put it on TV because I have a TV in my gym where I show footage and evidence of like actual skills being used, when they were used, and then I can actually film a kid while they're doing it and then throw it up there and say, all right, this is what you're missing. So it's so literally I do all that stuff in there. But I played a clip of Kimball Walker and literally, today, I had Boski, B, my son, GB, Shamar, all of them in there. And I played the clip and I was like, how many skills you saw? 3, 4. But then when I broke them all down, they were like, what?
Yeah.
11 skills in that little 4-second clip you saw. And then by the time we were done and how I was taught, all of them had it when we were done. They were like, dude, this is easy. And I was like, so if you understand all the little pieces to put together to make the picture, then it's that much easy. And then my thing, by that time, you actually feel when something's not right.
Right.
So it's just how you teach, the evidence, how you use things to hold them accountable for doing things, and just how you communicate, man. So I've been blessed to be able to be around people to make me better in that area.
Dude, a humble dude would.
Yeah, he is. So
you gotta be like, I didn't do this by myself. I didn't create the game. I didn't create these moves. And a lot of stuff that I'm using, I got it from somebody else, and I just made it my own some type of way. So I can't take credit for that.
Hey, that's just being a student of the game right there.
Facts.
For sure, man. For sure. So, man, another thing is, once you start doing your thing, you being able to touch all of the players that are basically leaving the city, like the way I look at it, guys that are spreading their wings a little bit further than Knoxville and, going to the next level, talk about that a little bit. What's that experience been like with some of our up and coming or guys that have just left? You got any words about those guys?
Definitely. And of course, I've worked with Quez. I've never worked with Drew Pember. I never got a chance to work with Dante Harris, but he wanted to. Who else have I? And just up and coming like Blue Kane and BJ Edwards and I did work with what's his name? Akeem. I've worked with him. I've worked with Brandon Huntley, who's around here a lot from Bobby's. I've worked with a lot of those guys from Bobby's, and I would say not every time when you're young they kind of get it and they're just with it.
Right.
Kids got a lot to do now, so sometimes they're just like, but the moments where they're in there, they're locked in. Yeah. And I say you can see the difference between them and any other kid around here because they want to get better. They want to, you know what I mean? And they want the structure of getting better. They want to understand here it is, BJ, and then they were out of school. I'm training Jordan Bowden at 9:15. Him and Blue are coming in with Jordan. You know what I mean? Jordan's picking BJ up, and they're coming in there working out because they want to be in there with somebody's high level. They look up to Jordan, and they want to rock out because they know it's coming. I would say Blue will probably be one of the hardest working ones I've had out of all. They all work hard, but Blue's probably the most, the one who's bought in, because he'll train his skill.
Yeah.
He's changed his diet. He's seeing a trainer. And that's why honestly, I tell kids, y'all see these highlights and people think that's all that, man, the kid is a complete player. He's got to get more defense.
Coach, he took a huge jump from 7th grade.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know what I'm talking about, Sean. If I showed y'all clips of this young man when I saw him, you know what I was telling people, because you know how it is around town. People say, man, he's not that good. You know how when kids first pop on the scene and they hadn't been the guy that everybody knew about, what do they say? He's not that good. He's not that good. I said, nah, let me tell you something. When you see a guy get better, he good. Yeah. He's good. Because every time I seen him, he got a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. So he's adding a little bit of muscle to his game, man. I think that's really gonna translate for him because he like to get to the basket.
Yeah.
He can finish. he can finish above the rim. But the thing, like you said, he a gym rat. So when you working with a gym rat, you don't know. Like this dude could show up. He could by senior year, he might start doing some crazy stuff because he in the gym all the time.
Nice. And he would like come in and do like 2-hour workouts. Like, so when I do my groups, I do beginners, intermediate, and advanced. Like he would come in and do the intermediate class and stay for the advanced also. Like, and this is what I like about that, because some players feel like they're above working out around other players.
Yeah.
That gets on my nerves. Like, if I'm like, you working out today, and the first thing you say to me is, who's gonna be there? I'm like,
I don't even waste my time.
who gonna be there today? You are. You know what I mean? Like, what you worried about?
Yeah.
But it's like, so what I would say is, him, and for me, you don't hear me throwing my kids in the mix because my kids are always in the gym too.
Right.
That's like, I just feel like that's always, because both of my kids work, they grind.
Right.
But outside of them, like, because that's almost like what we're about, because my wife, she was a hooper. Like,
Right.
I met her out playing pickup. She's the only white girl out there with a whole bunch of black dudes talking trash. Like, basketball has really made my family, you know what I mean? Like, truly, like, we got a real loving basketball story. So like, you know, that's Gary. It's always like, it's like always known in my house. So I don't ever include it when I talk about stuff. And sometimes I probably think they may think like, hey, what about us? You ain't saying about us. But it's, for me, it's just, that's something I already know. Y'all know y'all got it. Look at her trying to duck through the video, man.
Here we see you. Welcome to Power Four.
She got a comfy on, y'all. She got a comfy.
Hey. But for real though, man, let me say, I want to say, yeah, shout out to Blue Cane, man, because I watched him go from somebody, you know, people they didn't know who he was, man, to, you know, he's blowing up, man. He's blowing up, and it's all a credit to how hard he works. And he's a pretty humble kid, man.
He is very humble. And what I like about him, he's well spoken.
Yeah.
And that's just sometimes a lot of our athletes don't have early.
Yeah.
You know, they don't hold conversations well, but when you talk to him, it's like you can have a smooth conversation. Like he articulates, he speaks well, he knows how to hold a conversation.
Sure.
And it's not like he's like, oh yeah, yup, yup. Like he communicates, and I respect that about him. I saw a podcast he did with somebody. You know, everybody has, you know, their little media streams now. So he did a podcast with somebody that saw him at some tournament, and I was very proud of how he talked. So I respect that too. And he's a good student, a really good student.
So as far as like players that's getting ready to go to the league and play professionally, what is your drive for them? What is the motivation for you to get them ready?
And something, because I never want to make it about myself, but I still want to make a mark. You know what I mean? I want to make a mark. But I don't want it to be like, well, I'm the hottest thing around. That's not what I'm trying to push. For me, it's always a challenge to say, is my training certified enough for a player to be on that level? That's always my challenge. Can I find a way to improve this person who's already like at this spot? Can I really push them beyond them? So of course, like my NBA client, of course, a lot of people know is Admiral, which now he's going back down to the G League from getting traded and then getting waived from OKC. But him, like, and from them playing with UT, a lot of stuff that they did before they got there, it was taken away because they had to fit a role. Yeah. And you know, that's how it's gonna be. And do that, but Admiral, people don't know that he played point guard in high school.
That's crazy.
Like, you can actually go to YouTube and get some footage pulled up from him playing. Like, he's out there rocking, making passes, and when you see him at UT, it was just more like a big brute kind of triple threat, pull up, pick and pop. But he had more in his bag than that. For me, it was waking that up, and for him too, was like improving his movement. Footwork and, you know, body positions, body control, dribble timing, shot timing, you know what I mean, dribble manipulation, all that stuff we had to really work on. And like for him, he's a perfectionist. I know it'd be sometimes we'll go through some reps and he's trying to get like 5 straight when I don't even care if he gets 5 straight. It's like, let's just get 5 good ones.
Yeah.
He'll be like, let's get 5 good ones and we're done. Like, we'll get to 4. He'll get to 5 is not a good one. He'll be like, start back at 1. And I'll be thinking like, I got something to do today. Start back at 1, bro. Like, but we would, you know what I mean? Like him, and then you got Jordan. Jordan's like, Jordan's like really, really come on, man. Like, and it's crazy because it's like, you know, I document, I film, I put stuff on IG. So like, there's moments where we'll sit and look at those things. You'll say, look how I couldn't control my body here, but look at this video, I can do it here. So like, it's hard to see it when you're there, but when you go back and look at the footage, like his body control is so much more better. I can't wait for y'all to see him like come out and hoop now. Like, cause now, like before he was a little stiff, and he'll tell you that. Like, and he'll tell kids that come in, like, when I first got here, like I felt like a clown because I couldn't do half of this stuff.
Right.
But we've been in like since quarantine, because like even when it was like quarantine, I was still going to my gym.
Yeah. Sure.
It's over with. Who cares now? But since like they got let out because of that, like we just had straight days of working to the point where it got to the point where I was like, all right, what else am I gonna do with y'all? Like I don't. Let's shoot free throws while doing a handstand. Like I don't know. Like that's what it got to. But I saw him mature in his training and like being about business. Like I gotta have this because this is what's gonna get my check. And that's a motivation for them because on the next level, they're trying to get paid.
Right.
And now the difference is it's not like I want to get better, it's I need to get better. Like, or if I don't get paid. And this is what I'm trying to do. So when it's a business, man, like it's just so much more different.
Yeah, sure. I think too, man, that a lot of people don't realize that there's different levels as far as if you're trying to go to the NBA, think about this, y'all. If you're trying to go to the NBA, what you're trying to be a professional basketball player. So that means your life has got to pretty much revolve around that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Thanks.
You know, a lot of kids don't realize how many sacrifices they need to make to even be a Division I basketball player.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people underestimate how many sacrifices you need to make to be a Division II or a D3 player.
Yes, they don't get it.
Like, go to Maryville College and see how good some of these Division III guys are, man. Speak to that a little bit, Coach. Like, people think it's sweet, man.
Man, there's killers, and you can go down to NAIA and there's some killers in every level. Because sometimes what people don't understand is some people just didn't get that much exposure.
Yeah.
Some people didn't do well on ACTs. Some people got in trouble at one school and just dropped down at this school. So people don't realize that when you go to every level, there is somebody who will hand it to you. And you got to be ready. So, like, with a lot of times with high school, I see, like, kids go to college and they're not ready because the grind is so much more different. Like, now, and it's even a business in college because somebody's writing a check for you to have a free education because you play ball. So now you need to be at practice at 6 a.m. and don't have your butt late to class. You got to make these grades and then go make sure you're getting tutored, make sure you're going to your individual workouts, make sure you're hitting the weight room, make sure you're hitting the cafeteria and check in and eat like you're supposed to. So, like, I think kids feel like just because they're good where they are, that just going to give them a pass to be at the next level. And like I tell a lot of kids around here, like, man, just because you made all KIL around here, that's nothing.
Yeah.
This is not even a basketball city. It's
Right.
not. Like, so you're not competing with people around here for scholarships normally. It's people outside these state lines or West Tennessee or something.
Right.
If you can't hang with that, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So, man, like, it's very tough to get kids to see that because, of course, everybody thinks Division I is just the hardest thing there is. And they think the rest is a joke. So if somebody gets a scholarship D2 or NAIA, I tell them, like, you won. Like, you won. Somebody said you were good enough. Like, somebody's paying thousands of dollars. You won. Like, be proud of that. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, the grind is definitely different on the next level, and I try to make sure that's known within in the gym when we work out.
For sure, man. Coach, man, you spoke on another thing about how guys come to the gym and how impressed you are with how they show up. You know, they show up and they're ready. You know, I've seen in the past as a coach where you experience the people that show up, but they just showing up to clock in. They ain't really showing up to get
Better, yeah.
to get the most, man. You know what I'm talking about, Coach? Have you seen that?
And it's even worse now because we live in this media world where
Yeah.
all I gotta do is take a picture of my wet shirt with some shoes and say clocked in, and then that's that. And people gonna be like, yeah, my boy out there grinding every day. So now all we have to do is just look like we do it. We don't have to do it. We just gotta look like it. If I can look like it, people gonna say, oh, he grind.
Yeah.
So like, I hate when those players come in. Like, and it's not even the fact that they're not working hard. Sometimes kids have too much pride to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like some kids come in expecting to show me what they can do, and I'm like, I don't care what you can do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what you're here for. Like, I'm here to expose some things you don't get yet. And there's some kids that are too cool to just say, hey, like, I know I may not have this, but I'm gonna have it. So then ultimately it looks like they're not working hard because they're just worried about not letting go of their ego or their pride and letting people see that, yeah, you mess up too. Because again, like this media world makes everybody feel like they have to be perfect because everybody has a mixtape now, you know what I mean? Of their highlights, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's what everybody think they have to live. Like I have kids, sometimes I'll film them as a missed shot. They're like, don't post that. I'm like, you miss shots in the game that everybody's watching. So what's the difference? Who cares?
I don't want them to see me miss.
Yeah, like, you just missed the free throw last week. I saw you that. Like, y'all lost because of that. Like everybody saw it. So why are you worried about this workout? So I mean, like it's a whole bunch of a lot of seamers. You know what I mean? People who seem to work hard, but
hey, and the thing about them, Sean, you know them when they walk in the gym, they're not ready, they come in late, shoes not on.
Man, all of the above. Or you get the kids that want to come in when it's 2 weeks before tryout.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get me right.
Tune
me up.
That's the West Knoxville way. I'm telling you. And I don't care who sees it. I don't care what parents see it. I be trying to tell them, like, hey, man, like, if you ain't have it now, whatever you can come work out, but whatever you have already is what you got to display in these tryouts. And don't tell nobody I got you ready. That's your fault.
Yeah.
Like kids don't realize this. Like player development is a year-round thing.
Yeah.
Like, we know you have seasons in basketball, but your development of you never stops. So some kids think off season means I'm off. No, off season means I'm off from my team functions.
Yeah.
My self-improvement continues to go.
Dang, so you telling me if I show up, you don't got none of the MJ secret stuff I can drink to make the team?
Oh, man. They think I'm supposed to be like, and all of a sudden they just come out of Uber. Like I don't. I'm like, if I got that, then I wouldn't. It's gonna cost a whole lot more to train with me. Like, I need Powerball money if you're gonna train with me. If I got that,
man.
You know so
I tell you this, Coach, man. People like me and Wood, coaches like me and Wood love people like you. You know, because, you know, I'm more so of a coach. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you have people in town that are focused on the guys' development and stuff like that, to be honest with you, it makes my job easier.
Yeah.
Because now guys are working on their game. Now guys are working on their game, and I ain't got to waste time to show you how to do triple threats and, you know, certain moves and all that.
And this is the crazy thing about it. Like, the the coach trainer relationship is horrible, like just in whole, because coaches may feel like we're trying to make their players be something that they're not for your role, or we're trying to take players and put them on other teams. And like, for me, I feel like every coach around, if you have a legitimate trainer who's established and shown improving himself, you should be reaching out like, hey, do you have anything that I can do for this?
Yeah.
Can you come by my team and just show me this? Like, and I'm doing these. I'm starting to do coaching clinics.
Okay.
I mean, of course, I wrote a book. It's on Amazon, and I did a test drive one with a few coaches because Ricky Norris got a few together for me. So I run a seminar. It's a PowerPoint. I talk. They ask questions. We go through. And then I actually run a session in front of them, and I'll stop and talk about the things I'm doing, what I'm developing. They can ask questions while we're doing it. And that was like my test drive to make it better. So I know it's a full-fledged thing, but I'm pretty soon I'm about to release in all those. And, you know, coaches can pay a fee and come to it. You know what I'm saying? And you'll get a copy of my book at the end.
Tell them the name of your book, bro.
Say what?
Tell them the name of your book.
Oh, it's called Basketball Handymen and Women. So you think about when you think about a handyman's tough, a handyman's prepared, a handyman has knowledge of the job they're doing, a handyman has every tool in their bag, no matter what job it is, just in case something goes wrong. They're creative, you know what I mean? They be like, hey, I don't have this, but I can take this tool and cut this over. We can make that fit.
Yeah.
So like that's how you want your players to be on the court. Like I may be a post player, but just in case I catch the ball up top and it's 4 seconds left, I can rock you and go. Or I may be and I hit a jump stop or I hit a pro hop and now I'm in the paint and I gotta be able to bump and then go finish over a big guy.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't matter what position you play, you gotta have every tool known to man. So when that situation comes, you good.
Yeah.
That's hard, coach.
That's the whole concept of comparing the two, a handyman with a ball player. And then I talk about the different concepts of training, like this game enhancements, which works more on the X and O's, your options, how you can play attack that's better. And then you have a skill enhancement, which just works on raw skill that has nothing to do with gameplay, but it's just the tools you need, you know what I mean, to play the game. So you can have the tools and never know how to, you know what I mean, play the game well, which I call the cone assassins. The kids do all the drills but can't hoop. Or you have the kids who are just great at playing the game who could be a whole lot better if they had the skills.
Yeah.
Like that's just where it lies, man. And you got to tie the two training together. If you're not doing skill enhancement and game enhancement, then you won't have a player that can really execute.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So Green, man, what I wanted to know is what's kind of one of the tougher tasks of being a trainer? What's your toughest challenge, man?
I would say the biggest challenge from the beginning was getting people to buy into like actually doing work for basketball. Like I said, we know this is a football, baseball area. And a lot of people, it's crazy to me because like basketball is my first love. A lot of people, basketball is a second sport for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm realizing that y'all play ball, but I play football. But I play baseball. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because like I grew up around hoopers and like hooping was our thing. Like, it was nothing else. So the biggest thing for me was getting people to buy in and actually giving extra time to basketball. And, you know, really a lot of times it's getting parents to understand that. Like, your kid doesn't have playing time because you continue to do the same thing every year. And it doesn't give you any results. So how about we just try this? And a lot of times you get to the point to where you have people buy in for spurts of time and they go and they come back worse. And they hit spurts of time and they go and they come back worse. And it just the pattern continues going. So truly it's just, I guess, getting someone to really buy in to understand that it's something you need to continue doing. You need to continue your growth. That's probably one of the biggest challenges.
For sure.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that, man. The parents don't understand, man. Scholarships aren't just given. And especially parents that's like they just had kids, so they've never really been around sports. So they think, oh, my kid is okay, so he made the high school team, he should be able to go to college.
Right.
They don't understand the work that goes into those kids that are on college teams.
Right.
All right. Well, it goes into this too. I got a theory I want to put out there with it is that, you know, basketball is a sport that is precision, right?
Yeah.
Like there's some precision in being able to put that ball into the basket, man. And you can't be precise if you're not always sharpening that knife.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard to train for 4 months or play for 4 months and then don't pick it up for another 3. It's not going to be there. It's a rhythm game too.
Yeah.
It's a rhythm game. Even guys that play all the time will tell you that just for whatever reason during certain, for a certain week or a certain month, they just playing really well.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? For that,
Yeah.
And that's just a product of their work. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though you may go through times where you miss shots, this, that, and the other, those guys that are really skilled. Another thing that I saw is, have y'all ever noticed this? You ever see a guy play and he may miss 4 or 5 shots, but the way he missed them shots, you say, oh, he can make them shots.
Yeah.
Different.
Like you got to go back and watch him another night. He just had a bad night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell by the way the ball dropped down in the net.
It's almost like a made miss. That's what I call them, made misses. You know what I mean? Like it's missing in the vicinity of making it. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see the confidence when they're pulling it. Like he knows this is what he does. Even if it's an off night, he knows this is what he does, so he shoot them. So you're right. It's precision and rhythm. That's what this game is.
Yeah. Man.
So, Coach, you gonna ask him? I know you dying that you've been dying to ask him something, man. He want to take a stab at you, Coach.
Oh man, go ahead. Come on.
So, man, I started with a story. So, man, it was preseason, maybe it was 2 years ago. I'm watching Webb versus West Valley. I come across the court at halftime. I said, hey, Sean, she's special. Sean looked at me and said, man, she still got a long way to go. I said, yeah, that's how you know that guy is the most humble guy I know.
Right.
Because, man, she's just so good. Because I remember getting there early because it was Webb versus West Valley. I remember getting there early. And I had Olivia with me, and she sat on my lap the whole time.
I remember too.
And we watched her, and crossover, and she was killing. And I was like, man, I made it a point to come over and say, hey, Sean, she's special. Sean looked at me and said, man, she got a long way to go. So, man, how is that? Just knowing how special she is, nationally ranked. How do you reel it back in?
For us, like we don't do a whole lot of cheerleading. We do in moments, and we don't keep it to where cheerleading is an everyday thing. Almost how like Shaq was kind of like, my dad let me have a trophy for a day, and then after that it was over with.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind to live in a moment when you did something nasty, and we'll talk about it, but then we move on. And sometimes I think, with my daughter being different and being, I call her unicorn around here because that's just what it is. Like she's a unicorn around here. With her being that way, I think sometimes that has hindered her because so many people tell her how good she is.
Right.
And if you hear that enough, you'll start believing that. So then sometimes you may feel like, well, I'm already better. I ain't got to go as hard. So I've had moments where I had to tell her like, hey man, like I don't say anything to you purposely, but you haven't said one word about coming to the gym to work. And you pretty like my gym, my kids work there. Like they're employees there. Like they work the front, they check people in, they clean, and they're on the payroll.
I love it.
So like for me, like you work there, I have a key there, and you haven't said a thing about going to at least get some shots up. Like so sometimes I feel like that rah-rah gets in her head.
Yeah.
But then she'll have a trash game to where she should have been murdering some girls and she looked basic. And I'll be like, yeah, they got your head gassed. But look at this. Like this girl ain't nowhere near where you supposed to be. And she was in you. And like she'll have those moments because like sometimes, and I know my wife will tell you, like, I'll go in a little too hard with kids, like Bobby Knight sometimes.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it though.
A lot of bleepity bleeps and believes that. And that's one thing I've been working on, you know what I mean? Like scaling it back a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, my kids are very suburban and I grew up differently. So that was on the norm for me. Like, you ain't this, you ain't that, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we got back in the hood. Like, even if it wasn't your parents, it was somebody that was close to your family. Like, what you doing? Da, 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 da. Y'all know how it is.
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of what I bring to them sometimes. And sometimes I go overboard. I'm not gonna lie, but like, that's still a moment to let them know, I let you know, like, you ain't had that like that. Like, you don't have that. And another thing my wife just said, like, Damon, her AU coach, like, we've had a great basketball community. So it's not just my training and me being a dad or I've coached, and I can't take all the credit. We've had some coaches have really instilled some things in them and kept them humble also. So like we've been very blessed, and God has put people in my kids' path, like because God has favor on me, but like when he does it for your kids too, you know what I'm saying? Like got people to really feed in them and take them to another level that I know for me because I'm dad, I can't take them there. It's just because I'm dad. Like my kids know that I train NBA players. My kids know that I've trained some McDonald's All-Americans. My kids know that I make good money for training for a living. But there's still things I can't do because I am dad. You know what I'm saying? And for a minute, like, I ain't gonna lie, like I wasn't humble in that sense because I feel like I do this for a living. I'm telling you this already. And somebody else gonna tell you like, oh, it's awesome now. I just told you that last week. But then I started understanding more and I was like, okay, I get it. So that was a humbling moment for myself to see my kids learn from somebody else, to have to understand that, you know, sometimes they don't want me to be that because sometimes that's not always my job because I'm supposed to be there to put the Band-Aids on the wounds and, you know, keep you in line. So I'm very happy to have the people that's been in their lives who's fed into them.
Man, you said,
when is the last time you laced up with one-on-one with Jalen and Mia?
Oh, actually.
Hey, hold up, no.
I should bring them downstairs and let them talk to you about that.
Hold up, before you answer that question, I gotta hit them with this, Wood. What I want to know is, Wood, is who would win in a 2-on-2 battle between with your daughter and your son and you and your wife?
Smoke them all day. Like we ain't never going.
I don't know. Hold up.
We ain't never. I will never. Number one, they ain't gonna stop me.
Huh?
And I got a bad knee. Look, okay, so now this will take you into the question he just asked. So look, and I'm gonna give you the background.
And I got a bad shoulder, and that still ain't gonna be.
So look, she's trying to talk off the camera. We won't get on the camera though. In her comfy. So like, I'm literally retired from hooping because like medically wise, like I have a knee that's so bad they said that I have to have a knee replacement. Right. Like that's how bad my right knee is. So that's why if the pro-am comes, I'm done. I can't hoop in that no more. Like, and it makes me sick because that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
Like, I love to hoop. And you know, I can train, I can get the movement good enough, but I can't run without limping. It's bad. So during Christmas break, I think my daughter was feeling herself a little too much. So I had to borrow Mr. Shine. She was like, trash. And I was like, you with a bad knee. And she was like, no, you aren't. You know how kids are like, no, you aren't. And I was like, all right, bet. I was like, so me, I make bets with my kids. Usually I lose not because we're playing each other. I'll be like, bet you won't score 20 today. I'll buy you a pair of J's. And somehow they'll end up scoring 20 that day. Bet you won't hit at least 4 threes. They'll knock down 6. And I'll be like, I need to quit making bets with y'all when I'm not in control of the outcome. This time I was. So me is talking trash. I was like, bet, let's play one-on-one. I got a bad knee, and I'll play you one-on-one. I guarantee you won't win. She's like really believing it because she sees me as dad with the bad knee who only trains. So I had to hit it with the skimmy paps. On her, got her 5-zip, done. Get off the court. So my son, though, he was like, do I get the same bet? I'm gonna lie. Like, I had to think about it because I was like, this dude could move, though.
Right.
I can't keep up with him like that. But I'm gassed. So I was like, bet, let's run it. You know what I mean? So he comes out, scores the first point. Bap. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, don't give him any more. Give him enough space because I know I can't run enough to get him.
Yeah.
So I go up, score, 3-1. I said, oh, this is over with. So I miss a shot. I'm swagging. I'm a little confident. Man, the man hits me with some combos I can't keep up with and pulls up. Whap! 3-2. Hits me again, gets around me quick. Like 3-3. And I'm like, all right, bro, like, I got to do something here. Hits me with a little step back I couldn't get to. Wow, 4-3. We're going to 5 straight. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm sweating. Like, I can't let him walk out these doors talking about he got popped. So bad knee, I can't keep up with him. He did a rookie move. Like, you know, kids, they don't think smart. You got the game won. You already beat me. I got a bad knee. Go finish it. What does he do? Step back, long distance, brick. After that, I was like prison ball. Dave, don't you ever talk trash to me again. I walked out with my chest out. I closed the door to my gym, and I was bent over breathing hard, bro. But I'm still undefeated with my kids. So
I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah. I can imagine that y'all have a competitive household, man.
Oh my God, we can't even play board games.
I already know. I can feel it.
We can't play board games, especially my wife. If she loses and we start laughing at her, she'll quit. I'm done with this, and just walks off. It's a story, and we tell everybody this. So me and my wife were first dating. We met each other, and I'll give it to you. My wife can hoop. Like when I say she was hooping with us, she was hooping with us. You know what I mean? So she out there balling. So like it was one day we left Court South back in the days from working out, and I was talking to her, and I was like, man, you can hoop and everything, but I think you're predictable. And why I say that? She driving, it's her car. Y'all remember back in the days, Just for Feet had the full court. In West Knoxville, the full court just behind it. Mm-hmm. She whips the car around hard. It's raining outside and everything. She's like, let's go. And I was like, bet, all right, like we going to like 10. I bet you won't even score. Needless to say, she didn't score. But the effort was amazing. How competitive she was, right? She lost. She wasn't about to chill with me for the rest of the night. She took me home. She took me home, bro. Like, I didn't get a kiss goodbye, nothing. It was just like, I see you. I love it. That was it, man.
It was 10-0?
That was it. 10-0. She didn't get a bucket.
Yes, she did. I bet she did drop you off.
She did. And that wasn't even supposed to be the end of my night. But it was.
I'm surprised you got a call back after that one.
Hey man, I'm surprised we still together now. Like that was a moment she could have left me.
Coach, man, you know, man, talking about your wife and just kind of watching y'all from afar, man. I definitely see that y'all a close-knit family, and that's a blessing, man. You look at a lot of different people who don't have that family support like that. To have a partner there that's with you, that's supportive, man. That's big, man.
That's definitely.
I wish y'all. As you guys being coaches, y'all know how it is when you have a wife or have kids that really support what you're doing, because it takes a lot of time away from your family. So, like for y'all, big ups to y'all, because y'all. I mean, I feel like my job is easier than y'all, man. Like you guys are like coaching, sometimes taking kids home, sometimes sitting late, waiting for parents to get there, where your wives and your kids at home. When you coming home to eat, you waiting for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mine is a schedule. Like I train from this time to this time, this time to this time, this time to this time. Parents, y'all better be out here ready when I'm ready to go because I'm closing the doors, and they're there. So like, hats off to y'all, man. And I know, like for me, I know y'all, and I've seen y'all family also. So you guys are very blessed. Jay, I grew up with your wife. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I'm pretty sure she showed you the story about her calling me Ocean.
She just told me tonight about it.
Yeah, in middle school when I first moved to Knoxville from Alcoa, you know what I mean? But like it's very special, and sometimes I say even moments I've taken it for granted in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? That I've had a wife who really she started my career, like she got the things moving.
Right.
And even the things she does now behind the scenes that people don't realize, like making sure the booking system's going well. She does the taxes and the bookkeeping for it to make sure everything matches. To like when I opened up the facility, in there putting stuff together and we get stuff arranged, and her coming up with concepts of how the gym can run well, and her putting the polishing touches on it, man. Like, so there's moments in my life that I've taken that for granted that, even now I feel like a lot of times, and I've said that to her herself, I feel like I don't deserve her as a wife because she's done so much. And sometimes I've done so little and fallen short of being what she needs me to be. But like, she's dope. Like, on top of that, she's a basketball chick. So, like, you know what I mean? We can have those conversations about ball and what needs to get better, and have those arguments, and because she understands what's going on, because she played college too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm very blessed to have the family that I have.
It definitely makes the job a lot more easier, man, when we have a support system. I
mean, hell, her parents support it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, so that's dope. You know what I mean? Like, so it's I'm very blessed. So hats off to, my wife and y'all ladies and kids, man, whatever, like, man, like, cause we're blessed to have that.
Sure. Coach, you said you had a phrase that really stuck out to me, man. You said something about basketball community. And I can remember myself moving to Knoxville. I think I was about 26. I'm old now. I'm 40. So I've been here a while. Yeah, exactly. I've been here a while.
I'm almost there. I'll be 38 in 2 months. So I'm almost there.
Wood, you can't get in this conversation. You still.
Well, when did you graduate high school, bro?
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah.
Ooh, you were 9 years after me.
Yeah.
So,
young fella.
But when I moved here, man, I moved here a young guy, still just real passionate about what I was doing, man. I just always I had a passion, besides basketball, just helping people. I spent a lot of time working at Helen Ross McNabb, but one thing that I kind of noticed, that I was giving so much of myself, right? Like, I was trying to do everything that I could do, and one thing, like, as I got older, I started realizing, like, hey, number one, you can't do everything, but I'm gonna tell you one of the things, man, that was real refreshing to me is that when I realized I don't have, like, I would feel guilty about not being there certain times for certain guys, but I can only play so many roles, right?
Yeah.
But I can remember just little moments, Coach, where I wanted to make sure that I was helping out T.I. Juwan, right? And I would see him at your gym, and I was like, yes, like, yes, it's other people here fighting the fight or just trying to help other kids get better.
Right.
So when I realized that, man, it was empowering for me to see other brothers that look like me doing what I'm doing, and even more. So I just wanted to speak on that, man, and say, like, it's big in the basketball community when our kids can branch off from all of us. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
so,
right.
I'm pretty sure you spoke to, there's certain guys that you spoke to, I've spoke to, Linwood has worked with, I've worked with, and that's kind of the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Basketball actually makes the world smaller, man, because it's been times, like, okay, for instance, and I'll get back to the T.I. Juwan thing, but for instance, I worked a kid out who's from China, but he was in a private school in Singapore.
Okay.
Flew all the way out here to get some work for a whole week. That's a 25-hour flight. You know what I mean? Get out here and get some work. That was like what, maybe 3 years ago? About 3 years ago. Flew out here. Name is Will. I still stay in touch with him on social media here and there. Come this summer, a guy comes out here who he's from. Where's he from? The dude, the black.
No.
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 He's from the island, somewhere in the islands. I forgot where he's at. Belize.
Okay.
Comes out here, but he actually played a little professional ball in China. So I work him out, and then my boy gets on and was like, "You trained him too?" The dude from China. He was like, "You trained him too?" Now, how in the world do you think I'm gonna? This kid is from China and from Singapore area. That I end up training somebody that he knows that comes here from another country.
That's crazy.
Like, so that's two different countries that I've trained, and they happen. And so, like, the basketball makes the community smaller than what it seems sometimes.
Yeah.
And even with T.I. Juwan, the whole moment where you were saying, like, it's good that it was a lot of us or a different one of us out there working with our kids. And what happens a lot of times, I think, with us, where we fall off is that we want to be the top one. we fight with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be that dude. So then when other kids see somebody else, then we get butt hurt, and then we talk about somebody else, and then everything becomes a lot of division when we start like really missing out on our opportunity to capitalize on really joining together and making a bigger impact. And I feel like at times in my career, first training, I had moments of that, not just against us, but anybody. Like, I wanted to be the best trainer around. Right. When a kid was training with somebody else, I feel like I wasn't doing my job. Like, you stupid. Like, out of my mouth, I told my wife, out of my mouth, I would say, like, hey, you need to go see other trainers because they're going to give you things. But in my mind, when I would see like a video of a kid work, I'd be like, he ain't doing as good as I would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a trainer, like me growing as a trainer, man, like I'm starting to realize the bigger impact we could have, not even in the city, but just regionally, if we just all say, you know what, we got the same goal. Like, we can't reach everybody by ourselves. So let's just crush it together.
Yeah. Right.
So, and that's where I am now. So when I see kids with other people, man, it's dope. Like, I've teamed up with Justin Wakefield. We've done some stuff. I'm about to team up with Lester and Dante that's at like TKA. Yeah. Like now it's just now like let's just make this thing bigger than what it is. Like, individually we can do some damage, but together, man, we could cause some chaos.
Hey, Sean, you know what? They had a conversation about that. And the only people that usually have a problem with it it is two types of people. The people that's money hungry and only there for the kids' money, and also the people that's doing it for themselves and not the kids.
Right.
So if he's training with him, forget you, kid. Like you said, forget the kid. Now you're not genuine.
Facts. Big facts.
I want to add on to that, man. One thing, man, that I've always tried to do, man, was focus on my relationships with kids. So even during the time, I did EOTO for a long time around here, and every kid around there could tell you that regardless of the fact if they stopped playing for us or if they weren't good enough to play for, if they didn't make the team or if they decided to play with another team, I always try to keep them relationships because you don't know when y'all paths gonna cross again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, true. I had a kid that wasn't good enough to play or not wasn't good enough, but he didn't make the team maybe when we were in 6th grade and by the time we were in the 10th grade, I couldn't take him off the court.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I had to go back and get that kid, but it just not burning them bridges. You get what I'm saying? Keeping the relationships open, especially with the kids if they decide to do something else.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's right on point with that.
I think I'll say this too. My biggest gripe with the basketball scene or AAU or training is when people seem like they ain't doing it for the right reasons. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm old school, Sean.
Yeah.
I'm old school, man. So I appreciate people that do it off the muscle. You know, you got to put some skin in the game, show some love. You know, be good to the people who helped you out, you know, before you came and stuff like that, and keep it about the kids, man, like you do.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fact that I can go on your website or I can go on your Instagram and I can see BJ Edwards, but I can also see some little third or fourth grader who I don't know who he is, but you'll say his little name and you'll be just excited to train him. And I think that speaks a lot about like who you are and you know what y'all focusing on.
I appreciate that. We try to make sure everybody gets the red carpet treatment. You know what I mean? Especially if you want to work. If you want to work, you get the red carpet treatment. If you don't want to work, man, like we'll see you. We'll work with you. We'll see you. But I just believe in just really trying to help kids get to the goal that they want to accomplish.
For sure.
And not have them settle for what people say they're gonna be. You know what I mean? Like it's not my job to break your dream and say, well, you're 6'5" and you can't dribble, so you just better get ready to play down low. It's not my job to say that. You have aspirations of being able to shoot outside and move better. So I'm just gonna give you everything under the sun, and it's up to you to make it come to life. So that's what it is.
I love that, man. So real quick, man, we got a lot of people that watch this, man. What do you think? What would you tell? What are the number one things you think middle school and high school players need to work on? What do they need to focus on? Like what do you think that kids maybe spend too much time focusing on, and what are some things that maybe they should focus on more?
In that age group, and I'll say with being, and I'll say this more not like regional or like it's more of a country thing. Like I say in the U.S., we play too much. Like we play too many tournaments. We play too many games. Kids start having injuries, blowing out knees. They've played NBA seasons before they even got to the NBA.
Right.
So I said we play too much, and I think the biggest thing we need to focus on is development, because that's why these other countries are catching up with us.
Yeah.
They have a different platform. They'll let kids play professional at 15, 16. But they had academies building them up to be able to do that. And we're so behind on that. You know what I mean? That's why they're catching us now. So I think we need to spend more time developing players and, of course, still playing and them playing more on their own. Like, that's what I feel like they really need. But what I think is really missing this whole entire thing is teaching the kids how to take care of their bodies. Like recovery, diets, what things they can eat to help, what are natural inflammations things, you know what I mean? Like things that are what do you call them? Inflammatories? Yeah. Things that can, like a natural ibuprofens. So like our kids need that education. So now they can continue to learn how to keep their body in tip-top shape if they're trying to go to these next levels. So it's almost like, you know, we get these kids, they're young, it's like Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, 9,000 games. I never stretch. I don't really lift and get my quad stronger or do anything else. And they go to college and it's like, I can't keep up. Because like that portion is missing. You know what I mean? Like, so I think schools should start like getting like nutritionists like for their teams and like people to come in and do like some type of training for the kids. You know, that stuff is needed, man. Big time. Because every kid can't afford to have a personal trainer. Like, we're blessed in our household that I can do that for my kids. I can get a nutritionist, I can get a trainer. Fine. You know what I mean? But a lot of kids don't get a chance to do that. So like, I think these schools should do a better job of like trying to get stuff like that offered to them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The stuff that you do off the court shows up on the court, and that's one of the
big time.
Especially eating good, drinking good, staying hydrated. That's huge.
Big time, man. Big time. And I wish I would have known that. Maybe my knees wouldn't be in the position they are now.
Yeah,
for sure.
So
sure. Wood, man, we done definitely enjoyed our time with one of our favorite trainers, man. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get in there in the session though. I'm gonna have to get in the session because my hand-eye coordination My hand eye, baby.
Oh, show him the jumper, Jay. Show him the jumper, Jay.
What?
Yeah.
What? Hey, with the elbow out though. Hey, for real, bro. Bro, listen, man. I love your energy. I love your passion. Forget the basketball. I love your energy and passion for life, bro.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I love the way you going after trying to get what's out there for you. It's a perfect example for all, for all young people.
Yeah.
But again, you're an African American male, so I gotta say it, man. You such an inspiration for a lot of guys that look like you, man. You're a perfect example of what you can be.
I appreciate it as well, man. Y'all doing some serious work with these kids. Mental. I feel like you guys are around them more. Like you got more of a deeper relationship because it's like more of a family. I got a family environment in my gym, but like when you have a team, it's like really you have to develop a culture of family, and they have to really trust on you. And sometimes you guys see them more than their parents do.
Yeah.
So I want to appreciate what you guys. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Like and like again, from us being African American men, and really showing these kids that they can do other things than what society expects us to do. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it. Hats out to you guys and keep going. And, in my gym, open door policy, anytime y'all want to come, whether it's you want to run a session or just come check it out, you guys are more than welcome. And any way I can help you guys out, give me a shout.
Man,
For sure.
We appreciate you, man. Sean Green, already won, man. We definitely appreciate you, brother.
Hey, Sean, real quick, man, before you go, man, where that location at? Tell them where the location is.
If you're familiar, we're in West Knoxville off of Dutchtown, street called Lexington. I'm literally right down the street from Bobby. So where Bobby Mays' gym is, if you are going away from his gym and you come up to the end of the road, you make a right. I'm the first street on the left, and it's a little plaza building. So it's you can definitely Google it. It's online. Priority One Athletics. You can find the location. You can book your sessions online. But if you're familiar with Bobby's, I'm like literally 30 seconds down the road.
For sure, man.
Hey, Jay, another great episode, man.
Another great episode, man. This been another great episode with your boy Raylan Wood on Power Forward with our guy, man, Sean Green signing off.
I made the cut.
Yeah. Love, man. Love, brother.
Hey, appreciate it.